were you shown the future at any time?
Ugh, you're gonna ask that one.
You can say
Um,
no, or you can we can skip over it, or I can just not include it. But
I'll share it, and then you decide. I don't want to scare anybody. That's my whole thing,
okay,
and I do talk about it. So I'm at a dinner party with friends who had just moved to Vancouver. I found it hard to breathe. I felt a lot of pressure in my chest. I thought, well, maybe I suddenly got sick. I didn't know what to think, to be honest with you. It got to be so bad that I ended up going to their washroom and I stood in front of the mirror and I said, Heather, if you do not get help or say you need help, you're going to die. There was a feeling that came over me about that, and it was a foreboding feeling. And so I left the bathroom and I said, I need an ambulance. The music got turned down and they all looked at me and they said, What? I said, I need an ambulance. I need an ambulance right now. Right now. And my fiance at the time said, No, 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 I'll take her to the hospital. Do you really want to go to the hospital? I said, I need an ambulance. Need it. I said, Don't take me to the hospital. You don't know this area. So, anyways, I don't know what. I got picked up and stuffed into the car. We're on a black highway. Have no idea where he's trying to take me. That feeling just grew and grew and grew within me that I was going to die. It came to a point in time where I surrendered to it. And then all of a sudden, this darkness came very slowly from the back, like this, came over me, slower and slower and slower. And it was a black like you'd never seen. It was pitch black. But this darkness came until it was just a small, tiny little hole. That's all I could see out of until that was gone. Now I'm in pitch blackness. Call it the abyss or the void, because I don't know what to call it. But it was so comfortable there, even though it was pitch black, pitch black. There was no top, bottom, sides, like it was just this incredible vast space. It was very much like if you're ever at a lake and you're the only one there and you're just floating. I didn't hear anything, there was no sounds, just that sensation of floating, of being completely supported and very, very comfortable. There was no fear. I had absolutely zero fear. There was no stress. I was more or less intrigued, to be honest with you. I was intrigued about what is this? What is this place? So curious as to how dark this really was that I had taken my hand and put it in front of my face to see if I could see my hand, and I could not. So that's how dark it was. Now, way off in the distance, I saw this tiny spark of light. It's the only thing you could see in the whole entire vastness. The only thing that I could see, and it got bigger and bigger, and it seemed like it was coming towards me. And I just watched with a sense of curiosity. There was really nothing else I could do. It wasn't like I could move and run or anything. I was suspended. As it's coming closer and closer, and I realized, oh, hey, wait a minute. Uh, that looks, it looks like a tunnel. Looks like a cone even, swirling with different tones of gray and sparks of a brighter light. And so I'm watching this, and now it's closer and closer, and I'm watching it. It's coming above me, but now I'm ascending upwards. I have no control over that whatsoever, but now I'm suddenly in it. And now I'm starting to get nervous because I don't know what that is, you know. I have absolutely no idea. I put my arms and legs out because I thought, well, if I could touch the sides, maybe I could stop myself from going up because I was trying to control the situation. I did not want to be out of control with this, you know? So, but it expanded on me. I definitely started to freak out a bit because that really meant I had absolutely zero control. I had absolutely zero understanding on what was happening, and I didn't know what this was. But as I'm going up and up and up and up, And I could see, because you're kind of going up and over. It's actually an up and over feeling. And I could see at the top of the tunnel, I guess we could call it, this extreme bright light. Extreme, extreme, extreme. And then all of a sudden I was there. And so I'm like this. Still don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. When I was a child and I had asked my father, well, what happens when we die, Dad? And he said, nothing. We live, we die, that's it. You're in the ground. That's all. And so I took that as a little kid at absolute face value. And so, that's why I didn't know about any of this. And I hadn't read books or anything. I didn't know. One time when I was invited to my cousin's Sunday school, the teacher asked me if I believed in God, and I said no, and she was absolutely horrified.
Wow.
So anyways, I get into this bright light, and I'm stunned with the brightness of it. So it was like a blue-white light. And within that white light are also silvers, and like there's a lot of depth to that white light. It's not just a color. Then there were people. And the best way I can explain the people coming out of the light were, if you've ever been to a football game and you know those really large lights that they'll have up there, you take every single one of those lights and you put them ground level, stacked on top of each other. And then people coming out of that. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on? There was a massive group of people. Could have been 100 or more. Big group of people. I'm like this, and I'm rude. Hey, I'm really rude. And I'm telling them to back the F away from me. Get the F away from me. I don't know who you are. Get away. Keep away from me. Oh, wait a minute. There's Nanny, my great-grandmother. Oh, there's my great-grandfather, there's my Aunt Alice, and my Uncle Dick, and like I'm noticing these people that I knew that passed. And I didn't understand that. I absolutely did not understand that. And I said, I just, had said to myself, I don't know what's going on. Where am I? I'm sorry, but I mean, that's how it was. I was actually quite rude. And my great-grandmother stepped towards me, and this always makes me tear up. She said, Heather, you have died. And I was like, no, that can't be, sorry. She was the one who told me, because I didn't know. That stage was when I started to recognize the light, that incredible light. And it was loving, yes, beyond what we could imagine. Just incredible. And acceptance and support and kindness and gentleness. And I had fallen to my knees at the time, and you think, well, where the heck am I that there's a floor? I mean, that never made sense to me. Where the heck am I that there's an actual floor, but everything was white, and I had fallen to my knees, and I was like sobbing. Hell, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be dead. I didn't even get to live. I didn't even get to do anything, That was my main thing. I didn't get to do anything. It was too short. And then there was another energy, higher form of energy. And I could only differentiate that by a feeling. The frequency vibration itself was higher. I was told that I was going to be okay. Yes, I have died. And that we immediately went to a life review. It was really fast. But it was an interesting life review. I wasn't afraid of anything. I wasn't afraid of this presence, and that's all I can explain it as is a presence. Didn't see a face or anything. Everything's telepathy. Even when my grandmother was talking to me, everything is just immediately in your head. Immediately. The life review, it's as if you're so submersed in it. It's not like watching a film, or it wasn't like that for me. It wasn't like watching a movie. Above me, the signs below me, I was immersed in my life in all sense of it, but be well beyond the five senses, well beyond that. I think the most interesting thing about that I had found was the understanding on how we affect one another. We even when we have a thought about somebody, they pick it up. It's subconscious, but they pick it up and they'll store it, you know. So if you have a really harsh thought about somebody, they pick it up and they bring it into themselves as part of their understanding of themselves.
Hmm.
As children, there was this one gal, we were friends, but we were always fighting with each other. It was kind of one of those odd friendships. We were mean to each other, but when we got along, you know. And there were some things that I had said to her that she took into herself as a truth,
Hmm.
right into her body as a truth, as I did as well. And we always were in an energy exchange between the two of us as friends, always in an energy exchange. So you never know on how a little bit of kindness to somebody can change their life. There were some people that I had absolutely no idea that they took it on as something that was so incredible, helpful to them, that it altered their course.
Wow.
You know, like that was huge to me, absolutely huge. I was in a group home and there was six of us girls. I would always say to them, you're more than your body. You're more than your body because unfortunately for a lot of girls, they go into stripping or things like that to, you know, so they don't have much of a foundation, right? This one girl that I was sitting and talking with, and you know, hoping that she wouldn't go in that direction, she actually didn't. So that was amazing to me. I thought, you know, it's so the life review isn't just, oh, these were harsh things that you did, you know. You're also shown wonderful things. You're shown wonderful connections you had with people,
Hmm.
even animals, pets, you know, the exchange that you have with the world around you. Shown all that. But what's interesting about it is you really feel, see, sense, know exactly how the other person felt. 100%. So it's almost like you're a part of them, but you're not. You know what I mean? Because we are actually so interlinked energetically. We really are. And then it went on to my parents and having the understanding that chose my parents. That was my soul family, and that we have agreement. They took agreements with me, I took agreements with them before incarnation even actually happened. But not everything is planned out because we have also free choice. I was shown about karma in the sense on how that works, and that's part of also these agreements. So I was shown other lifetimes that I had had. One of them was I killed somebody in another lifetime,
Hmm.
and I'm being shown that. And then I'm shown the person who we had an agreement we were going to reverse roles, not to the point of death, mind you, but some really traumatic stuff, you know, and I was going to be the receiver.
Hmm.
They were going to be the doer, you know, so I was shown that as well. And so it did give me a much better understanding as to why some of the things had occurred that just seemed out of left field for me. I learned all about energy and the human body because this is what I was going to come back with. So I was shown in lightning speed. It's like it's just there. All the information is just there very, very, very quickly and flashed in front of you. This is how it works, and just real quick. And so, how the human body works on an energetic level, what we take in, what we put out, how it moves within the body, all about the auric field, all about energy points, and how emotions work, and how unprocessed emotions affect the physical body. Brains are so incredibly powerful. We can hinder ourselves or not. We can make things better within ourselves. What we direct out there is a frequency, and that frequency we can also invite. So, depending upon if it's a lower level frequency, higher level frequency, how to move energy, how to pull in energy. It's almost like using the body as filing cabinet, Oh, I'm gonna stick this file and I'm gonna put it over here, or in my lower back, or because I don't have the luxury right now to deal with that. And so we file it and put it away. I also went to the Crystal City, which was immensely beautiful. It would be kind of like I was 15 miles, 20 miles out. And I wasn't there very long. Somebody came to meet me. I didn't get to see their face or anything. I didn't. I just knew it was a body and somebody who really liked me because they gave me a great big hug. Basically, it's not my time to be home. So I was like, oh, okay. And then going, immediately gone from there. I was shown the place of healing for souls who have done their lifetime. And sometimes lifetimes can be really traumatic. And we go to a place of healing. There's healing pools, there's water, healing water, which is incredible as well. Yeah, oh, and everything's marble. Everything was marble, white marble. It was quite interesting, actually. Columns. There was columns. Some souls can be there for quite some time. Not that there's time as how we understand it, of course. Some could be there for a very, very long time, depending upon the life experience that they had. And there was the Hall of Records. I call them the Hall of Records because, I mean, at that time, that was the language that I used. And I understand that everybody called it Akashic Records. It's fine. Doesn't really matter what we call it. The books are as high up as you could possibly imagine. And I was shown my book. My book. Well, I obviously had a lot of lifetimes because it was pretty thick, so I've been around quite a bit of times. And within that, there was like a little running movie, obviously of this lifetime, which I found odd and strange, And then, of course, when Harry Potter came out, and I thought, did they talk to some people who had NDEs and maybe had looked at their books, So I thought that was kind of interesting when I watched Harry Potter many years later. What I was also shown was on a soul level, not all souls are kind of in the same place. So if you've got a soul vibration on, let's say, a level 3, well, they're not going to be in the same soul understanding vibration as somebody sitting at 5 or 6 frequency. So it's interesting that kind of like was with like. There's many different levels, many different levels. There's a place that you do go and you have mentors where you are working out your life agreement. There's also a cosmic board. Is it the same as what people are talking about nowadays as the Federation? No, it's not. Different. What would I liken it to? Not quite a government system, but they're there to talk with you, to also help you and others. And they're from multi dimensions. And it's hard to wrap one's head around that. I totally get that. I was surprised as well, but nothing shocked me. It's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, I know all this. Oh yeah, I know this all from this side, because when we incarnate, everything's wiped clean. Some of them were just pure light,
In human
just
form, or like in a form, or like just like a ball of light?
like
No.
a ball of light that would kind of change colors from pinks to whites to maybe very, very pale blues. Others, I could actually see their faces, really. Some of them had a white cloak. There was one specifically that it was blue, a blue cloak. When you're there, you know that they're from other galaxies, other dimensions, and they all come together. They're extremely wise. Some of them, I guess, we would call them like maybe they look like ETs, you know? Yep, definitely. I would definitely say that, but I can't say that I could really see the face of every single one of them. I could not. It was a long table, and they were all sitting around it, and that area was illuminated, but anything around that was black.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know exactly where we were for that, but there were also time periods being shown, modes of travel, which I haven't really spoken about before. I, at the time, called them wormholes.
Hmm.
I went through a couple of them. They were showing them to me. It was flashes of color, like a tube, and it was extraordinarily fast. I felt it was kind of a bumpy ride, but I don't know why I felt that way, but it seemed that way to me. But it's modes of transportation to get one place to the other, but not for everybody. Others could just imagine it in their mind and then they're there. So it's not for everybody. So I didn't know how that worked really.
Like a like almost like a portal that just opened up in space and you went through it, or was it just always
Yeah,
stationary off to the side and you kind of walked to it?
you could just travel through it. It would just
Okay.
suddenly be there. You travel through it. It was really interesting.
And is that how you got from like the Crystal City to the healing place,
No,
and
the
or was it?
crystals didn't go that.
Okay.
It was immediate.
I always like to ask people, how real was it? Could it have been a dream?
No, gosh, no. It even life does not feel as real as that. You sense more, you know more, your senses are so highlighted. Here everything's kind of dimmed down, right? It's more dim, whereas on the that experience was like, wow, and now I feel alive. Now I'm alive. What was I doing before? Obviously, I didn't feel like I was living a dream and so almost like two-dimensional in a sense, absolutely no way, no way. No, I have met a lot of people, like my family was not into hearing about this. I'll tell you that right now. They were not supporters of it because, of course, that was their belief structure, right? I never did push it or anything, but it was definitely a lonely journey at the time.
Were you shown the future at any time?
Ugh, you're gonna ask that one.
You can say
Um,
no, or you can we can skip over it, or I can just not include it. But
I'll share it, and then you decide. I don't want to scare anybody. That's my whole thing,
okay.
and I do talk about it. I was sitting in some kind of chair of some kind, and there were golden balls about this big, so much bigger than a basketball. And I was sitting, and it would come in front of me, and it would open up, and there would be a movie in there. It was the start of mankind in wars, murdering each other all through the Earth history, one after the next, one after the next. And it just kept going. It was actually, um, the level of trauma was huge, absolutely huge. Death, death, death. Lots of fires and lots of death from water, flooding, what we now call tsunamis even. There was lots of protests that they were coming more into our world today. Um, Definitely saw all the wars. I mean, it was just absolutely excruciating to watch. Uh, yeah, bad. Um, a lot of unrest in our world. A lot of unrest. Um, People, just take a minute, desperate to be heard, seen, um, desperate to be um, as much as a priority as anybody else. And marches and anger, lots of anger, lots and lots and lots of anger. Um, and it's all kind of where we are right now. We've got to shed, we've got to shed our beliefs about other cultures, our beliefs about other people to get through where we need to go. I'll leave it there because I find it terribly sad. Lots of civil wars, all dotted all over, unfortunately. Yeah,
So you're
lots of starvation.
yeah.
I had asked them to stop. I asked them to stop. I couldn't bear anymore.
What was
Yeah.
the point of it, do you think? Just yeah, what was the point of it?
Well, I was thinking that maybe if I didn't ask them to stop, maybe I was going to get to the good stuff.
Oh,
But because I couldn't bear to see any more of it, like the 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 death, the children, jeez, all of it. I couldn't.
but why did it start? Like, why did that happen to begin with?
It
Like, why
was
did?
for me to have the understanding of, unfortunately, what we do to one another
Oh,
and what it is. And it could be over religion. It can be over land. It can be over crops. It can be over anything. Without the understanding that we're all here for the same purpose. We're all here as brothers and sisters. I was not actually going to come back, and I had stated, well, through crying, basically, and in disbelief that I was dead, that I didn't have a chance to really start, and I didn't have a chance to do the things that I came here to do, and that I wanted to go back, and I wanted to do the work that I set out to do in regards to my life contract. I was told coming back was going to be far more difficult than before I died. On a physical, emotional, mental, psychological level, it was all going to be extraordinarily painful. And there were things that physically I wasn't going to be able to heal, and I was going to live with that pain. So I was to be prepared for that. Then I was asked again, do you want to come back?
no.
Yes, I do. Because when I was over on the other side, I firmly believed that I could do a lot of that work. We're connected to each other. I think if we could just have that understanding how connected we are to one another, and let go of all our false beliefs of one another, and really have that understanding that we are energetically a part of each other at all times. We're all human, period. You don't have to have all these divisions and everything that have been created. I think if my wish could be anything, if we could just get to that understanding.
How do people find out more about you?
I'm on Instagram at got_insight. I work with people one on one. I've been doing that since the 90s. I do energy readings because I see energy all the time. It was one of the things I came back with. I teach people in everything that I learned on the other side and how to work with energy. That's what I teach. And I give them tools so they don't have to keep coming to people like me to learn how to do the work for themselves.
So this video is brought to you by Audio Cardio. Audio Cardio is an app that I've been using the past few months that's scientifically proven to enhance hearing and alleviate tinnitus. I really like it. I've been enjoying it, so I wanted to share it with you. If you want to learn more, you can click on the link in the description. And if you like saving money, you can save 20% by using promo code OAKS20. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.